morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming here to 19 to 21 Maple Street. This is an exciting day for the community. We're standing on a parcel that we've acquired this year to help promote parking and access to our train. And it's a goal of the Board of Selectmen in the town that was achieved after a long time and a lot of work by a lot of people. We have a lot of guests here this morning that are going to share some remarks. We have the former owner of the property, Gordon Richards, here, which is great. He's been a great partner to us throughout this process. And so we're going to cut a ribbon, but we just have a few remarks we'd like to share. Before we do so, I'd like to welcome the chair of our Board of Selectmen, JOAN GARDNER.
Thank you, John. It's nice to be here after many years of dealing with Gordon trying to acquire this parcel, and we're very glad that he finally agreed to sell it to the town. So it's a very happy day to be here to cut this ribbon.
Gordon, did you want to share any remarks to the audience, or do you want me to just give them your best?
It's time for all drinks. I'm all done. Thank you.
Thank you. Gordon's still working here. We're trying to get him to slow down, but he won't. He wants to keep working. He's a hard worker. He's been here for when did you move in here?
50 years.
Been here for 50 years. Gordon is an entrepreneur. He's a small business. He's the kind of small business that people are proud of, and we're very proud to have had him here in Acton. He's worked very hard. He was, what do they call him? No, not that. What do they call him? The Michelangelo of concrete forms. I think I've heard that referred to. So Gordon, he also, I don't know if you know this, but he's a parachute jumper. And one interesting story that Gordon told me one time is that he loved parachute jumping. He had over 100 jumps. And then I said, why do you like it so much? He said, well, because you pack your own chute. It's up to you. If you don't do it right, you're done. And he said, you know what? It's the same thing with concrete. Concrete is an art, and it's hard to do. If you don't do the prep work correctly, you're done. You have to do the whole thing over if you don't do it right from the beginning, just like parachuting. So I think it's a great lesson from Gordon about life and about concrete and about parachuting. So thank you. And so we're very pleased to have our partners at the state with us here today. We're going to hear some remarks from them. I'd like to introduce our Senator Jamie Eldridge.
Thank you so much, John, and good morning, everyone. And I'm just so happy to be here for the official ribbon cutting for this additional parking for the South Acton MBTA train station. Going back about, 20 years, when I returned from college and was living at home just down the street on Stowe Street, my mom, Betsy Eldridge, is here. I would walk down Stowe Street and I would cut through, just so you know, Mr. Richards, your property to get the train, because of course this was well before the redesign of the train station. And I was always curious about what was going on here. And for those who don't know, Mr. Richards was really, his company, his cement form company, was known as arguably the best and most sophisticated cement form company in New England. And when you think about all the buildings, all the schools that were built in the region, Mr. Richards, you were responsible for that work. So I just want to pay tribute to that, because I really respect your profession and the work you did for well over 4 decades. So I'd like to give you a hand for your work. And the delegation has been working to obviously upgrade the train station. I work particularly closely with Representative Jen Benson and former Representative Corey Atkins about 10 years ago to get the funding for the new train station. And of course, with the train station, we've just had so many more commuters. And so now Representative Benson, Representative GOUVEIA, myself have been trying to find different ways to provide more parking. And of course, that's not just more parking for Acton residents, but it's parking for residents in this general area. So this additional parking, approximately 60 spots, is not only a great resource for Acton residents, but also for other residents. And one of the interesting facts about this property is that a majority of the cars that reserve a space here at the Gordon Richards property are actually not from Acton. So they're from towns like Stowe, towns like Boxborough, and that's something I really want to highlight because, of course, I get a lot of requests from my constituents outside of Acton about more parking to the South Acton train station. And the importance of providing more parking is a bit obvious, but it's important to state is that, you know, more and more people want to take the train. They want to get out of their cars. They want to avoid the gridlock that many of us experience driving on Route 2. It also reduces carbon emissions by getting people out of their cars and onto the train. And you also want to provide a more reliable service for commuters to be able to get to work on time and to get back and be able to spend time with their families, as well as on the weekends with the recreational opportunities. So I'm very excited that the town has purchased this property. There's many people to thank. I will say that, you know, myself, I know David Martin, John Benson, Selby, John Mangiarotti. We've had many conversations and many meetings with you, Mr. Richards, going back for about 4 years. So I can remember going to your office and having conversations going back to about 4 years ago about the idea of the town acquiring this property. So I think it's an important step forward for more parking. I know that since the town purchased this parking and this property at the Acton Town meeting, I've had a number of suggestions to constituents about, dare I say, bathroom facilities someday for the train station, and even a coffee shop. So it'd be great to see that happen in the future if that's what the town wants to do. But this has been a great partnership, and just know that at the state level, the Acton Legislative Delegation is looking to secure more funding for public transportation. That can be, you know, more frequent trains into Boston, improving the facilities here at the South Acton train station, as well as our continued support of the Crosstown Connect shuttle network, which brings so many people here to the train station already. But I can't thank enough all the town officials that played such a critical role, and of course the residents for purchasing this property, a little over $1 million, and the support and cooperation of South Acton neighbors, which is especially important to me since I grew up here. So thanks everyone for being part of this partnership, and really glad that we're having this official ribbon cutting, and thanks everyone for their collaboration in making this day possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Eldridge. I'd like to welcome Representative Benson.
Thank you. So I'll be very brief. Jamie was joking earlier that we were going to talk 15 minutes each. All right, it's open. There you go. And I guess he wasn't joking because he went on for quite some time. But anyway, so all I have to do is say I'm so excited to be taking part in this. I think this is fantastic. We want more people off the road and on the train now that we have bike lanes, some walkability, and I hear maybe more in the future, and additional parking. Fantastic. It's good for the environment, it's good for commuters, and it's good for Acton, so that's great. Thank you for working so closely with the town. You know, this is what community is all about. People come together, look at available resources, and make things happen. So thank you so much, and congrats to the town manager, and have a great train station. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Representative Benson. I'd like to welcome Representative Gouveia.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Mr. Richards, for working with the town on this particular piece of property. It's really critical that we provide opportunities for people to get out of their cars and get onto public transportation. I hear from constituents in the 14th Middlesex District over and over again how much more they would take the train if they had parking, how much more they would take the train if there were shuttles, which we are lucky to have here in Acton, and hoping that these things can be replicated throughout the district, throughout different parts of the state, so that we can get people off the road to reduce congestion. We know we're #1 in the country for congestion. We're #9, thank you. We're number 9 in the world for congestion, so this is really something critical for quality of life and health and well-being of all residents. And we also know that we're facing a climate emergency, so anything that we can do to get people off the roads, onto public transportation is a really great thing, and this is a big part of it. So thank you very much. Happy to be here. So glad that the town has been working on this, and want to thank Representative Benson and Senator Eldridge for all the work that they've done to work to get this a reality as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We're gonna cut the ribbon, and I'd like to have the members of the board come up and join us. And while we're getting assembled, I've asked Bill Clower, local historian, to share a very brief tidbit about the history of this parcel. Just speak up and talk into the mic.
Thank you all very much. In my youth, this was a very busy place. It was a lumber yard, and out behind here were a series of coal bins, which are still there, and there were 2 sets of tracks which brought in all of the lumber, all of the coal. So it's been kind of in the back of my mind that whatever the future is of this property is something that would use the already existing resources that are here. I think that the town has done very well to acquire this piece of property, and I'm glad that Gordon Richards is part of the process to see that we get it. And again, thank you all very, very much.
Thanks, Bill. All right, where are those big scissors? Joan? All right, how do we do this? Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in, Gordon. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's park. Let's park, everybody. Nice job.